Cecil trophy hunting and other words that matter. More than a year has passed since the killing of a Tanzanian lion made headlines around the world, and yet it is still possible to engage in tense discussions by simply mentioning the word Cecil. Despite numerous wars and natural catastrophes that have, in the intervening time, brought death and misery to countless millions of human beings, the public conscience remains alert to any mention of this one magnificent animal. Other important stories may be forgotten in our soundbite world, but not this one. Cecil has been transformed from animal to symbol, his name a touchstone for human emotion and empathy towards wildlife, and a rallying cry for those opposed to hunting. Seemingly never before has the word Cecil mattered so much to so many. An American hunter who had traveled from half a world away for the opportunity to hunt a wild African lion killed Cecil. Though he possessed a legal permit to do so, he did not intend to eat the lion, and he was not protecting himself or his personal property. What he sought was the experience of hunting a dangerous animal in a distant environment, and would certainly have wanted to bring back the pelt and skull of the animal and likely display these specimens in his home. In earlier times, he might have been called a safari hunter, but in today's world, he is called a trophy hunter. And like the word Cecil, it is pretty easy to stir up a hornet's nest of debate with the term trophy hunter. No one involved in hunting today can ignore the influence the word trophy exerts on the public debate over sustainable use of wildlife. For many, it has obviously come to represent a dividing line, either as evidence that all hunting is abhorrent, or that any hunting not directed at the procurement of food is unacceptable. Thus, while many trusted conservation organizations support trophy hunting as an effective conservation mechanism in regions of Africa and elsewhere, the public debates launched by the word trophy are mostly not about conservation. Rather, they are focused on the motivations and behavior of the human beings involved. It is in this emotional, value-laden discussion that much relevant information is often dismissed or ignored. This is where the power of the word trophy matters most. It can generate intense discussion and affect public opinion and eventually public policy towards hunting, and it can do so while ignoring many important realities. It is abundantly clear that the public perception now, deeply associated with the term trophy hunter, is of an individual who pays large sums of money to kill magnificent animals, often disregards laws to kill endangered or vulnerable species, is motivated by ego, and is bereft of empathy for or any true interest in the animals he or she hunts, and wastes the meat from the animal harvested, and furthermore, certainly has no commitment to conservation. As the hunting community and others rightfully point out, such characterizations are very often inaccurate and unfair, and they point to the conservation and human livelihoods benefits that trophy hunting is recognized for providing. They emphasize that the activity is legal and well regulated, and that groups such as the World Wildlife Fund and the International Union for the Conservation of Nature support the activity precisely because it does assist in conservation actions and does help support local communities. They further point out that the meat is not wasted, but in the vast majority of cases utilized by the individual hunters themselves or shared with others, and that the animals hunted are very often old, beyond their breeding prime, and have already contributed their genes to the population. And what of those antlers, horns, and hides that are collected from the dead animal? Well, importantly, they help ensure that all parts of the animal, not just the meat, are used. And yes, they serve as remembrances of the experience for the hunter, but they certainly are not the sole objective of the hunt. All of these arguments are true, but a relevant question remains, what do facts matter if minds are closed? and we know how difficult it is to change deeply held public opinions. I think we all agree the hunting community, now more than ever, needs to choose its words carefully. It needs to resist spending so much energy and time convincing itself of its good intentions and begin communicating effectively to the broader public. Now, some would say this has been recognized for some time. Well, perhaps it's time to get on with the job. And this could well mean setting aside terms that hunters have long used to describe themselves meaning one thing, but which the public has adopted and come to understand completely differently. Based upon current evidence, shouldn't the word trophy be high on this list? Indeed, might we not consider leaving aside all adjectives to describe hunting, trophy, sport, recreational, etc., knowing as we do that all these adjectives are viewed negatively by the public? Why not just say hunting? But let's face it, the hunting community needs to modify a lot more than a few terms in its public messaging and outreach. The intensifying debate over hunting means it is going to take more than dropping a word here or replacing it with another term there to positively communicate hunting to a modern public. And it is going to take a lot more than a few slick advertising campaigns to whitewash the negative impressions building in the public mind. The hunting community really needs to bring a new standard to all its messaging, its television shows, magazines, websites, advertisements, awards, and conventions. Significant change is needed, and hopefully our more forward-thinking organizations will move quickly to make this happen. I suggest a very good place to start would be to bring one word to the forefront of everything we as hunters do: conservation. Now there's a word that matters to wildlife, to hunters, and to the general public.